Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and welcome to Mail Monday, a weekly series that's about your questions and my answers to them. A quick note on the gameplay, it's called Warframe. It's a PC game, it's free to play, there's a link in the description, so if you're curious, you can go check it out. And it's time for Mail Monday. Here we go! Hey Woody, I'm not sure if I can make it in Mail Monday, but I'll try to get this to you in time. I feel kind of silly writing to you like this because I'm probably not your typical fan. I'm a 23-year-old girl. That's just it. I'm part of the very few girls that watch Call of Duty commentators or one of the biggest WoodysGamertag fans. I'm probably not in the same age category. Anyway, I'm just wondering if you could give a little advice and impart some wisdom. This is a pretty long story, but I'll summarize and shorten it up as much as possible. It starts out kind of bad. I met this guy online over a social media site, and we've been talking for about 5 months or so. We live about 8 or 9 hours away from each other, and we hadn't met in person until last month. We had arranged to meet up and also to hook up, if you will. I'm not really one to basically set up a booty call or do a one-time thing like this, but I've been going through a lot lately, and I needed a break, and I just needed something new and different. So the time we spent together went well. I texted him a few days after that, but I haven't heard from him since. It's been a few weeks now, and I knew that this would probably be a one-time thing going into it, but before we met up in person, he was always talking to me, and it made it seem like it wouldn't be just a one-time deal. Now, I'm not a guy, and I don't speak the guy language, so I don't know what he's thinking, or what I may have done wrong, if anything. Any advice or reply would be great. I watch nearly all your Mail Mondays, and you give a lot of people a lot of good advice. You seem like a really smart, respectable guy. Well, thank you. And just the right person to give the advice I'm looking for. Forever a fan, Ms. FPS McDuck. Of course, it's impossible to get inside this guy's head. You know, I can't know for sure what he was thinking or what was going on. I can guess, though. Here's my bet. I bet that at one point, he really liked you. You know, I don't think that he spent 5 months or so talking to you online again and again and again, and just, you know, not liked you. I think there was something there. I also think that, you know, sometimes these things wear out or they expire or whatever, and I think if he still liked you, he'd still be texting you. I think that's the case. I don't think that this was empty from the start. But I worry that it's empty now. Now, your next move is obvious. Your next move is clear to me. Just ask him what the deal is, you know, and try to make yourself, like, ask him in a way that makes it easy to reply, you know, kind of like a no judgment thing, or, hey, I just want to know where we stand or what we can do. You know, I'm not asking you to love me forever. I don't know what to say exactly, but make it so that he actually gets back to you and, you know, find out where you stand on this thing. You know, I'd hate for it to end without you getting this conclusion, right? Without you getting the closure that you're looking for. The guy liked you. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that at one point he totally dug you. And the fact that he's not returning your texts anymore makes me worry that, you know, the spark that was once there didn't last forever. Which, you know what? You've been talking to him for 5 months. That can happen. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. But you certainly need to find out, you know, where this thing ends, and that's that. One thing you wrote in your letter that caught my attention was, you know, you wanted to find out what you did wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. There's no way you did anything wrong. I'm sure of it. I think it, you know, it just, dude, you know, I'm not sure if he's into you. If there was some guy that you went to a dinner with and afterwards you didn't want to go on a second date, would it be something he did wrong? No, you know, it just would. The chemistry wasn't there. That's my guess. But anyway, I'm kind of psyched that you actually went and met him and got to see him and stuff like that. The letter kind of implied that the booty call went down. But you know, I'm glad that you weren't too scared to ever, you know, give this thing a chance and actually meet the guy. You know, I thought that was a good move. Public school versus online classes. Hey Woody, I don't have a very major problem like some of the messages you get, but I need a little thought from someone else. At my school last year, I got bullied really bad. I'm a little overweight and I don't like being social because I'm introverted. In the middle of the school year, I discovered online school. My parents let me do it for the rest of the year. I logged in every morning on my laptop in my room, and I would just stay in my room for hours by myself. I still kept connections with my friends, but I didn't get very much social interaction each day. Now it's summer for me, and I'm wondering if I should go back to public school or if I should keep doing online classes. You're probably thinking I should go to a private or a charter school, but trust me, all the good ones are either full or very expensive. So what do you think? Should I go back to public school to see my friends but risk being bullied? Or just stay in online classes and go to my friends' houses every once in a while? I don't expect this to be on Mail Monday because it isn't about sex or if my teacher is a pedophile or anything extreme. But if it was, I'd be really happy. Thanks. Well, I hope this makes you really happy. Let's talk. So education-wise, I think it's the same, right? I think that you're getting a really good education either by going to school or online classes. Online classes are no joke, and a lot of times when you have to figure things out by yourself because you can't just raise your hand and ask like you want to, you put in a lot of research and you learn extra stuff, but you didn't really ask about the education. I just wanted to throw out there that if you homeschool or self-school like you're doing, you're going to turn out fine and you'll be ready for college either way. The problem I had with this letter is it kind of, like, I got this vibe that you were making the choices not on your own terms. If you said, hey, Woody, I want to do online classes because it gives me spare, like, I wrap up my school day at 11 a.m. and then I can pursue my passion of art or music or winning the national spelling bee. If you said, Woody, I like online classes because they free up time for me to, fire up a little business or work out all day long and pursue my dream of being a pro athlete, then that would be awesome. But I got this vibe that you were doing the online class thing as a way of hiding from bullies. And that sucks. It sucks in a couple of ways. It's not just that, you're forced out of an environment you might otherwise enjoy, but it haunts you, people listening to this, have you ever backed down from a fight and then afterwards that self-judgment just kind of weighs on you forever? That's what sucks. That's what's so bad. It's almost worse than losing a fight, right? Just knowing that that whatever that one day, that guy didn't measure you. You measured yourself and decided that you were going to come up short. That's the problem I have with this thing. If you want to go to online classes because you enjoy it and you like the freedom of schedule and such that it gives you, then fantastic. Knock yourself out. But if you're asking me if it's okay to hide from bullies, no. That sucks, man. That absolutely sucks. Now, the problem with the bully thing is difficult. So often I hear, oh, just beat up the bully. Right. That piece of dumbass advice has existed forever. And the thing about bullies is they're usually selecting their targets so that they don't have any risk to themselves, right? Bullies are not brave. Bullies are not cool. They're picking on people where they have some sort of God-given physical advantage, and the idea of beating them up is a non-starter. So let's lay that out there that you're not going to beat this guy up. And by the way, you mentioned bullies plural, so that's a tough situation too. Yeah. What am I going to recommend you get into a 4-on-1? That's not right. There are other things you can do to deal with this whole bully situation. Joining teams and clubs at school is a good deal. I mean, what you need to do is you need to be in your own group, right? These guys are, obviously you have a couple of friends that you hang out with even though you're online schooling. But, these guys have perhaps a bigger group or a bigger problem. And if you played a sport, then that would do it. You said you were a little overweight, that would fix that too. It might change your whole life. It did for me, right? When I got into swimming, it was a really positive thing for me. It pretty much is the reason I decided to go to college. I wasn't done swimming yet. At the time, the 18-year-old dumbass version of me, that was one of my big motivators. So, when you're looking at this thing, you know what? You might like a sport. And there's lots of sports out there. You didn't say what grade you were in, but, if you're in high school, there's probably football. And there are sports for every body type. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you're a little bit heavy, there's a spot on the football team for you. If you're really small, there's a spot on the wrestling team for you. If you're tall and skinny, there's a spot on the swim team and the cross-country team for you. You might think to yourself that you need to be like the typical wide receiver on an American football team, that they're strong, bulky, or you have to look like LeBron James to play sports. You don't. There are sports out there for every body type, and just make it yours and own it. That would be one way to deal with the bully situation. It would be over, and that would be awesome. Another way to handle it would be to have the school step in. I know that there's risks involved in that, and if it looks like you're getting help from other sources, because you are, then they could judge you based on that. But, you know, we need answers here. And, you know, if the answers don't come from beat up all your bullies solo, which is a tall order sometimes, then, you know, bringing in the school to keep an eye on them and lay down some punishment at the first sign of bullying would be a good idea. Just a thought. Bitches be crazy. Hey Woody, I'm a 15-year-old boy and there's a 14-year-old girl that I like a lot. A lot of boys talk to her, so I don't know how good my chances are, but I made out with her at a party a few times. We were both drunk, so I don't know if kissing her meant anything or not. I've texted her a few times, but then I've never really talked to her about that night. What's the next step for me? Do I ask her out on a date? Do I talk to her about what happened that night? Mail Monday would be awesome, but a simple reply would mean the world. Thanks, Woody. First of all, you were both drunk at 14 and 15 years old? You're moving a little quick. But anyway, let's go on to your actual question about what you want to do next. Talk to her. Talk to her for sure. Have a date idea in your head. She probably likes you if she hooked up with you. Like, there's a really good chance. I really doubt she hooked up with you if she dislikes you. So give it a go. And at the very least, do not ask her because you're scared. Do not make a move because you're afraid she might say no or that some of the other boys talking to her might be more attractive in her head. Screw all that. Don't just sit there and regret. There's a good chance she likes you back. Ask her out. Or at the very least, you know, feel her out. Feel her out by seeing how she felt about that night. If you're still here, perhaps I've earned your like, but I'd really like to hear what you would have said to these letters. You know, let me know. Drop it in the answer. Would you go to online school? How would you deal with a bully? What do you think about this guy's girl? Etc. Two videos you may have missed. Me wrestling a wrestler in real life. And on the right, my vlog from New York City last weekend. Check them out. Have a good day.